Hey everybody, it's Derick Vogel again with Credit Absolute, founder and CEO, and I'm excited to talk to you about credit cards today. Remember, credit cards are 30% of the credit score, which values at 165 points. Credit cards is one of my favorite things to talk about for credit education because it's the golden nugget of credit. It's one of the fastest and easiest ways to build and optimize your credit scores. It can also be the fastest way to destroy your credit. And remember, please like, comment, or share this information. It's critically important that we provide knowledge to our children, our family, and our friends about this information because, again, this will help you optimize your credit to the fullest potential, understanding how to manage your credit card. Okay, so it really comes down to about four main parts. The first part we want to talk about is there's three different types of credit cards. You have your unsecured and secured credit cards. Now, some of these can be low-end credit cards versus high-end credit cards. So if you're rebuilding credit, you're going to have to get what we call starter credit cards versus if you already have some established credit, then we can look at applying for the right type of high-end cards where you get perks and benefits, cash back, air miles, and points. And that's the whole goal, is to build a good, strong foundation so that we can get to that point where we're using our credit that actually makes us money instead of costs us money. Now, the unsecured and secured cards are going to be like, I don't know, Wells Fargo or Chase or like a Southwest Airlines card or American Airlines. Then you have the second type of card, which is going to be a department store card, which could be like Kohl's or Home Depot or Best Buy. You can only use that card at that store. And then you have a card that we call a charge card, like American Express. Typically, you need a 720 to even get that card. It's not important in the beginning when you're building credit. It's just something to be aware of because once you get that type of card, you are getting some of the highest type of perks and benefits in the credit card industry. Now, secondly, what I want to talk to you about credit cards is going to be the most important parts of what I want to share with you, but what I share with everybody that works with me, and it will be the absolute best game changer to optimize your credit scores. And it's how to pay your credit card on time, but also how to manage your credit card utilization. Let's talk about utilization first. Most people, when I ask them, what is a good utilization to have on your credit card, will always say 30%. Well, just so you know, that is absolutely incorrect and not good at all. The one thing to understand is that when you hit 50% utilization, it will destroy your credit, even if you have perfect payment history. The sweet spot, the data shows that individuals with a 780 credit score and above maintain about a 7% utilization rate. This is your goal, making sure that you keep your balances below 7%. Now, if you want to be that person that wants a perfect credit score, 850, I worked with a good friend of mine who was a mentor. He had a perfect 850 credit score, and we did a reverse analyzation of his credit, and it's 1% credit card utilization. Now, this might be a shocker, but if you pay your credit cards off to a zero balance, your credit scores will actually drop. It's insane and crazy, but it's true. Now, if you have good credit, 700 plus, paying your credit cards off to a zero balance really isn't that big of a deal. But if you're rebuilding credit or rebuilding damaged credit, it's critical that you keep a small balance on at least one credit card so that you don't damage your scores. Here's the key, the kicker to how do we manage the balance on our credit card and that balance reporting to the credit bureaus. How do we do that? Well, if you look at your bill or your statement, you're going to see two things here that are most important. The due date, which we all know what that is. But then we also have what's called the statement date, sometimes referred to as the closing date or the cycle date. This date is most important because this is when they report the balance of the credit card to the credit bureaus. So now that we understand that, all you have to do is pay the credit card down below 7% so that it triggers the credit report and the credit bureaus to optimize your credit scores. So with that, on how to optimize the credit scores by paying down the credit cards below 7% before the statement date. I highly recommend 2 to 3 days minimum, okay? The reason being is that you need time to update and reflect that low balance. So you can actually max out your credit card. It's not a big deal as long as you can pay the credit card down 2 or 3 days before the statement date. Now, one really cool thing to help make this easier is that you can actually call the credit card company and set up your due date to be before the statement date. And if you do that, now you're kind of in the clear, meaning all you have to do is make your payment on the due date and it will update and reflect the low balance so that we can trigger the scoring algorithms to boost and maximize your scores. Now, a couple things to understand and really be aware of here is that if you pay down the credit card, you cannot use it for 2 or 3 days until that low balance hits, because trust me, this happens all the time. Clients will pay down their credit card and the next day they'll go buy groceries or whatever. And guess what? That balance hits, reports to the credit bureaus, drops your credit scores. Okay, so just make sure that you're patient. You wait for it to update so that it reflects on the credit bureaus to optimize your credit scores. A couple other things too to be aware of is that a debit card is not a credit card. So it's going to be important, right, that you understand the difference. And remember too, having multiple credit cards is critical. We talked about it a little bit in the payment history. I have over 20 credit cards. I have over $100,000 in available credit. I'm sharing that with you because it's important to understand I only use 1 or 2 of those credit cards. In order to maximize your credit, you need at least 3 to 5 credit cards. Okay, whether they're starter credit cards, department store credit cards, but you need at least 3 to 5 because again, remember, the more credit that you have, the more data that you have, and the more payment history you have, the more credit you have that builds your credit foundation that's going to build your credit scores. So again, once you build that small foundation of credit, then you can start really looking at getting the higher end credit cards as well too. So again, quick recap on credit cards. There's a few different types from regular, unsecured, secured, department store, and then a charge card. Most importantly, make your payment 2 to 3 days before the statement date and always try to at least get 3 to 5 credit cards on your credit report. Please, again, like, share, and comment. If you have any other questions, reach out to me directly or my team. But again, I'm looking forward to talking to you about age of credit in the next video. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.